I'll start. I am totally in favor of this. I have been ever since I moved here almost 5 years ago. And I'm going to respond, if it's okay, by each con that's down here. I didn't get this till 5 o'clock today, which really upset me.
I sent this out last night.
Well, I don't check my email every day, but that's still not adequate time. Michael, we asked you for this on May the 6th. Excuse me, Ms. Kaplan.
I'm sorry to disagree with you right now, but you asked me a week ago to try to put something together. I explained then and in an email a few days later that it would be very difficult to accomplish that. The email that I received back from Ms. Flowers on that issue was, I just want it before by Monday, I believe is what you said in that email. That's what I did. And I was doing it at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock last night.
Okay.
So
Well,
I did the best I could do to get the information out on an issue that I believe is actually a council discussion, not a management discussion. So I was asked to put this together, but as I indicated, this is not a complete list, and it is not my position to make this decision. It's council's decision.
right, but since we have it in the little time I've had to digest it, these are my responses. I don't consider it a con to assume that town council will cut the budget. I think with the economy the way it is, we have to cut the budget. So I do not consider that a con. We've already done it, cut it by $75,000, so we only have $360,000 left to go. If that means me giving up my salary so that these people can get a break, $140 a year will pay for garbage service for somebody. It could be a matter of just garbage service. I'm not opposed to giving up my $200 a month to do this. I don't know how the other people feel about that. But to me, we can start cutting there. The delays in reporting the payments to the town, we would not be eligible for revenue sharing and sales tax for fiscal year 2010-2011, regardless of property tax charge. My response to that is so. It's only $130,000. And it's a drop in the bucket of what we have in our reserves, which very few towns have. Revenue from other sources may be impacted by the economy, reducing income from other sources in addition to no tax revenue. Again, you have that. You're dealing with the unknowns. You're always going to be dealing with the unknowns, but they cannot be used as fear for government to make decisions. Expenditures for the athletic park are already proposed. They have also already been budgeted. They've been in the works for the last couple of years now. I don't see that as being an issue. The cuts can be made somewhere else. The staff is requesting the town council meeting to specifically address SAP construction fund balance based on final decisions of council regarding the SAP fund. The fund balance will be reduced significantly next fiscal year. I asked Dana, what are we required by law to have in our reserves? Dana, what do we have?
Well, currently,
Is it an 8%?
No, but there's an 8% requirement for large municipalities and counties. The smaller you are as a municipality, the smaller your budget, the larger that percentage is up.
Okay.
The local government commission, I believe, would put us in about a 30% category.
All right, and we have what? We have what now?
Didn't we state a policy that we were going to try to stay?
Like 5 million, I think it is.
Well, no,
It's a
wasn't
percentage.
there was a percentage that I think in council a couple of
It's in the
years
budget.
ago.
It's in the budget ordinance every year.
Yeah, council made.
To answer the question is, we would not impact that.
Right, and we never have because we have such excess in fund balances, so that's not an issue. The council drops the tax to zero, then what happens next year if the economy does not recover? What does council do next year? That's for council next year. Anybody can do for 1 year what they cannot do for a lifetime. It applies to people, it applies to corporations, it applies to governments. We can do this for 1 year. The actual savings to individual property owners is minimal to actual dollars saved. The property value at $400,000 would save $140 a year or $11.66 a month. Like I said, that's a garbage bill. In addition, local property tax is federal income tax deductible, so any savings by not having the property tax may be lost by the inability to claim it as a tax deduction on the property by the property owner. We have had some citizens come before us and say, this is an okay tax. 3.5% is reasonable. 3.5 cents per 100 is reasonable. If those people want to continue paying their taxes, they can make a charitable deduction to the town, Ms. Kaplan, and take it off the charity deduction list. Put on the check what you want it to be used for. You will know exactly
That's
where
not
your
what I'm
tax
talking about,
money
Ms.
is being
Strickland,
used.
and you know it is not what
Ms.
I'm talking
Kaplan,
about.
please.
So that's not an issue. People want to donate money to the town, donate money to the town. Guilford County is charging for animal control, animal shelter expenses, estimated cost is $50,000. That is that's what it is, a gross estimate. We never know what the cost of anything is going to be until the last minute. This is an estimate for the very basic expenses, or the services are not going to cost that much. It depends on what we decide to have, and we all know that. It depends on the kind of services that you have. The comprehensive plan has identified a number of tasks that must be taken to implement the plan. Plan and tasks will be approved by council, but ideas have been discussed. They include the development of townwide parks and recreation master plan, a groundwater study, rewriting the development ordinance. All of these tasks and others yet to be identified will require funding, quote, later this year, end quote, and that's my emphasis, and in future years to implement the adopted plan. I don't see this as a con, because this can be implemented by stages with prioritized projects and what everybody decides to be done first. Jordan Lake watershed rules and process are being implemented. We just discussed that. That has been changed. The developers are going to bear the burden of the substantial cost for that. The town will have to regulate. So that's been neutralized. State legislature and NCDOT are proposing funding for secondary roads to be transferred to local governments. We discussed that. That's not going to be implemented this year. It does not affect this year's budget. Based on the changes that have occurred regarding county services and state actions, there are sure to be other actions that directly impact Summerfield's current fund balance in future years. Well, that's dealing with the unknown. You're always dealing with the unknown. And that's something we cannot control. But again, you cannot use fear and intimidation in formulating a budget. Fund balance provides a cushion for the unexpected emergencies that can arise and to provide for methods of paying for capital projects without negatively impacting operating budget expenditures and tax rates. A large fund has provided investment returns equivalent to more than 3 cents of property taxes for the past 4 years. Significant erosion of the fund balance to pay for yearly operating expenses will impact these investment returns. This will not happen in the first year of a tax holiday. That's the con. It will not happen in the first year of a tax holiday, and that sums it up. But the but is, if it's kept in place for a couple of years, it will impact the safety net and funding source. Well, that's for next year's budget and for next year's council. As far as Dana's comments regarding investments, we may have to dip into our CDs. $360,000, we can dip into our CDs, or we can cut the budget by $360,000. I'm done.
Council members have any comments?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I've been giving this a lot of thought, and no one wants no taxes no more than I do. Over 10 years ago, when the town was incorporated, according to Mr. Crawford here, yes, we did not charge a tax. When I was serving on the council, also as mayor, we were receiving a portion of the state sales tax from the county. And that made up for the revenue that we was getting in, that we did not have to charge a sales tax. And as long as the town received those funds, there was no sales tax. Also, we did not have any services that we provided. We didn't have this beautiful park back here, or we didn't have the ball field getting ready to be constructed up here for our children to play on, that had been much needed for years. We didn't have the funds to do it, so we had to wait till we built these funds up. Then the county came along and took the funds away from us. So we had no other choice but to levy ad valorem tax, property tax. The sale tax is being distributed now by ad valorem tax. If we take this year as a no tax, we're going to lose what little revenue we're getting from the county, which is $133,000. That's not much. But trust me, county going to turn around and take more. If we don't charge a tax, they're not going to give us something in return for this $133,000.